Let's talk some sports, baby.
Taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by Jones.
And remember, make tomorrow better than today, and make today better than yesterday. And you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and keep it rolling with the NFC this time around. The odds makers view the 49ers and the Saints as the cream of the crop, but the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers and Dallas aren't far behind. On the flip side, the Redskins and the Panthers do project near the bottom. So, Drink, we will start in the NFC East with the Eagles set at 9.5.
Well, let me tell you something. If they would have had a better draft, I would have loved to say it over. But after the draft that they had and the way they kind of limped into the playoffs last year, I don't know. When I put it all together, I'm going to say under. I'm just not feeling confident about it.
Well, that's got a valid point there. I can't argue that. I still got them over. I can't imagine they have the same amount of injuries as they had last year, and they won 9 games with those injuries. This is a slight over. I think they win 10 games.
Yeah, I kind of went with Drake. I took the under a little bit. I think they'll be close, but one of the things I just think is, are they a better team than they were last year? And I just don't think they are at the draft and how everything played out. So we'll see. Jay, we got the Cowboys up next at 9.5. Expect things out of them.
Yeah, and I know I'm going to regret it. I got this as an over. They're too good. They got way too much talent. But you know what? They're the Cowboys. They're primed to disappoint you. I'm glad I'm not a fan.
Well, hey, if you're going to be disappointed, I'm going to be disappointed with you because I also got them as an over. And you know what? None of us skip Bailey, so I think we'll sleep well at night if we're on this one.
I'm very used to disappointment, so it ain't gonna bother me. I also took the over. They should be a legitimate team in the NFC rather. I mean, if you can keep Dak just from the distractions off the field and the contracts, you can get back to feeding Zeke. I mean, you should be a legitimate team. There's no more excuses. All right, Drink. The Giants up next set at 6.5.
As excited as I was about their draft, listen, you still got to play the other teams, and I got them with a whopping under. I don't think they're gonna make that 6.5. So I got them under.
I got them at an under as well. I know Daniel Jones showed some flashes last year, but all in all, I am still not sold. And that's the biggest reason I got them as an under.
I took the over. I like their draft and free agency a lot. I think you got a solid win up front team that's, a pass rusher away from beating almost every game they play. You get Saquon healthy and he runs a lot. They could be in every game, so I could see them finishing around 8-8. All right, Jay, we'll wrap up with the Redskins. They're set at 5, among the lowest, tied with the Jaguars.
Yeah, they'll beat that. This is an over. Ron Rivera is going to have an immediate impact on that team. That defensive line and that front 7, they're going to be pretty fearsome. Dwayne Haskins, I expect some improvement. This is an over.
Yeah, you know what? And just like Jay said, listen, just look at the 49ers. You won't need Dwayne Haskins to be just a world beater. If you can get that run game going and let that defense let loose, they'll definitely be over. I don't see them going under this 5.
I took the under, but, I mean, I see y'all's point. I mean, I was kind of not confident in Haskins, and if that defense is really good. And it just strikes me as this is not going to quite be their year, but I could be wrong on that one. All right, move over to the NFC North and start with the Packers. Drink. A lot made about them. They're set at 9.
Well, I had to start with the Packers. I think Jay should have started with the Packers, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. With all that said, I'm gonna go with the under. The Packers, they got a lot going on now with the way they drafted. Now your franchise quarterback is not happy. You got a young rookie over here smelling like he coming into the league with the new car smell. Listen, I just don't see how they do it. I'm gonna go with the under.
I got them as an over, but it's close. They'll win 10 games, but this is going to be all about Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to hear nothing about Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. And the 10 wins they get from this year won't have anything to do with the players they drafted this year.
Yeah, I got them I do have them as an under. I just think there's going to be too many distractions. And I'm really just convinced the team's just a year older. Are they any better? I don't really think they are. And then off the field stuff, it could be a tough year for them. But Aaron Rodgers he's been proven to do some stuff before. We'll go and go over to the Vikings, Jay. They're set at 8.5.
Love what the Vikings did in the draft. They had the best draft in this division. This is an easy over for me. They win this division. Only way they lose it is if Kirk Cousins has too many primetime games and can't measure up.
You gotta do better, Kirk Cousins. Hey, but listen, I agree with Jay. Listen, their draft was phenomenal. It looked like they had 15, 16 picks. It was outrageous, but the picks that they had, they used them on positions that they needed. I think this team is good enough to get it done. I'm going to take the over, and I agree with Jay 100% with the 100% emoji. You got to do better, Kirk Cousins. We need you. You got to do better.
Yeah, I took the over as well. They're reloaded. They're still solid across the board. I'm never going to expect Cousins to win it all, but they could certainly be a 9-11 team and 9 or to 11 win team in this division, rather. All right, Drink, we have the Bears up next at 8.5.
Which quarterback do we get?
All of them.
I don't
expect Foles, but
it don't. I was hoping Jay came out with the left field saying doesn't matter earlier, because it really don't. Listen, here's the deal. I'm gonna take the under. I'm just not impressed with that offense, even though they're trying. I give them that credit. They are trying, but that defense flapping in the wind because the offense, I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna take the under with the Bears.
This is an under no matter who plays quarterback. Mr. Trubisky, he about to wilt like a plant that ain't getting no water. Hey, you know Nick Foles. He Nick Foles in Philadelphia. He Nick Fails everywhere else.
Well, I can't. My biggest thing with them is I don't really believe the defense has that hard carry potential anymore, especially with like Khalil Mack starting to maybe fall off a little bit. The offense didn't get better, and yeah, Foles, man, not really buying it. So yeah, I got an under there as well. All right, we'll finish up with the Lions in this division. Jay, 6.5 is where they're set.
When I said about Jacksonville and the AFC, this is the same situation over here in Detroit. And it all comes down to Matt Patricia. When you got people coming on national television calling you a bozo, that's not a good look. And every player that leaves there got something negative to say. This is about to be a disaster.
Get rid of Matt Patricia, baby. His time need to be done in Detroit. That's all it is to it. They're going to go under just because every player over there seems to hate him no matter what. So I just don't see it. So you might well go ahead and send him to the Ford plantation and make a couple of calls because that's about as much work you're going to get out of him.
Yeah, I'd be on if they had the worst draft in the world and all that. But yeah, it's 6.5. I'd have to take the under. I mean, 6 games is probably the ceiling for this team, and that'd be if they overachieved a little bit. But yeah, I definitely have the under for them. All right, let's move over to the NFC South, and we'll start with the Saints. Drink. They're set at 10.5.
I'm gonna take the over. I thought they drafted well. I thought they, it was fluky to me how they lost. They got dominated in the playoffs last year. But I think they fixed those things. You just signed Jameis Winston, so you got a capable backup if something happens to Drew Brees. You signed Emmanuel Sanders, so now you do got a bit of a down-the-field threat. You still got Jared Cook. So I like what the Saints did on both sides of the ball, so I'm going with the over.
Yeah, I got the over in this one. Drew Brees, he's been performing at a high level for years. He performed at a pretty high level last year. Unless he has a huge fall off, this is an over.
I took the over as well. You know that Drew Brees has an NBC contract coming up. This is probably his last year, so they're going to play with their hair on fire, and I'm taking the over. All right, Jay, we got the Falcons set at 7.5.
This is an under for me. The Falcons, I lived in Atlanta for 2 years. I had all their games local. They just boring to me. They're not interesting at all. Dan Quinn with the same polo every week. It's about time for his time to be up. Under.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Dan Quinn, go and blow the dust off that resume because you're gonna need it, buddy. Let's be real here. You see the division that you play in. That goatee ain't taking you anywhere farther. Get ready to be a defense coordinator again because you're out of here, buddy. And I'm gonna take the under with the Falcons because evidently, even when you draft offensive linemen, they just don't show up. And then, it don't matter how much talent you got on the edge. If you can't get nothing done in the middle, it is what it is. So I'm taking the under with the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm under as well. I'm just not really sold on the whole experiment. I think Dan Quinn just about got fired last year, and I just don't think the team's really all that bad. You're relying on a lot of injury-prone guys, older guys. I got the under on this one. All right, Drink, we got the Bucks. This is a fun one. They're set at 10.
TBZ, baby. Listen, so you got Tom Brady, you got Grunt coming in, so that right there with the mixture of talent that they already had, I'm going to take the over. However, I didn't see quite the impact I want to see with the secondary. So I mean, I guess I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt. So I'm gonna take the over for now.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. Obviously getting Tom Brady and bringing Gronk with him. That's going to have a huge effect. I think 10 is a number. This is my second push. This is a push.
Wow. Yeah, I had the same thing. I think 10's a solid number. I think the problem with them is you're going to see struggles early. You're going to kind of see that offense sputter a little bit at the beginning, just figuring everything out, shaking into place. So I think like a 3-3 start would be possible, but they'll turn it on later on in the season and get it going. So yeah, 10 wins for me. All right, we'll finish up with the Panthers, Jay. They're set at 5.5.
First of all, I love what they did in the draft. I told y'all they only had 4 starters on their defense. Matt Rule took their advice. He drafted every player defense. It's still not enough for me, though. This is under.
Well, I mean, I would say this. You did tell us they had 4 players that was worth a darn. You absolutely said that. But at the end of the day, I just went with the pedigree that I seen out of Matt Rule and Joe Brady when it came to picking their players, and they did a phenomenal job in the draft. With that said, they still going to be the doormat of the division. I mean, that sounds good, but people going to still step over you and say, hey, good draft. Have a good one next year because you're going to be in a top 5 team probably next year. So, yeah, I'm going with that. So, I'm going to take the whopping under.
Yeah, I got the under as well. I mean, they're just going to have to be the L sponge in this division. I mean, Bridgewater's a nice player, but I don't think he's really a difference maker. I don't think he can elevate you above where you're supposed to be. And that defense is getting you near to gel up. So we'll finish off with the NFC West drink. We'll start with the 49ers Super Bowl runner-ups, 11.5.
Hey, listen, I don't see a reason why the 49ers can't be over. They pretty much went out. I mean, they made some questionable moves, but I didn't see any moves that made me think like, you brought in Trent Williams, so you evidently you want that offensive line to be better. I like that. You drafted you kind of start shooting air balls at first, and then you started making a couple of layups. But listen, with all that said, you bring back majority of the team, so I'm gonna take the over for the Super Bowl runner-ups.
Yeah, I was tempted to take the under in this, a little Super Bowl hangover perhaps, but they're just too good. Like, their defensive line is still going to get after you because they got Kinlaw to replace Buckner. I mean, I expect Garoppolo is going to get a little better again this season. Their running game is still going to be dominant. Trent Williams is there. It's an over.
Yeah, I had the over as well. I mean, I just think they're just as good, if not better, than last year. I like some of the trades. I like the 2 first-round picks. My problem with their draft was it was not a good draft for the future, but it was a fine draft for this year, so I got them over. All right, we got the Seahawks up next. Jay, 9.5.
Listen, Russell Wilson should be insulted by this. He good for 10 wins by himself. Easy over.
I like that. Russell Wilson should be insulted by this. I agree. They're good for 10 wins. I hope that they can make something happen with Jadeveon Clowney and get him to accept less money, bring him in to help shore up that defensive line more. But with that said, listen, this next team we're going to talk about, there's 2 wins right there. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Seattle and the over.
Yep.
I said under. I was thinking more like about 9. I just don't think his help's gotten better. They can't rush the passer, and you got to play the 49ers twice a year. I don't know, man.
So disrespectful.
Hey, I may be wrong, but I don't know, man. I'm not feeling what they're doing, how they're treating Russell Wilson, because I do have a lot of respect for him. But the rest of the team, All right, Drake, we have the Rams up next at 8.5.
Oh, yeah. So when it comes to the Los Angeles doormats, they're going to be you can pencil them in. I mean, we talked about this. I think they're going to be the worst team in the division. I think the Cardinals are going to pass by them. And, Kyler Murray going to run right past them. So I'm taking that whopping under, baby, with the salary cap. Shouts out to Jalen Ramsey.
Yep. Interesting enough, the Rams, in their money troubles, they finally did something smart. They restructured that old Jared Goff contract. You know why, right? Because he ain't that dude like we told you last season. And they going to be an under.
I had under as well. Just another team I'm not really digging. Goff's not that great. McVay's big brain game plans seem to get figured out more and more every year. I do like some of the talent they drafted, but it ain't going to help them that much, and it ain't going to pay Jalen Ramsey. So it's an under, thanks to the extra draft picks. All right, we'll finish up with the Cardinals, Jay. They're at 7.
Yeah, I think this is too high. I think they're heading in the right direction. You know how much I love Isaiah Simmons, but elsewhere on that defense, I still think they're pretty thin. I'm still not sold on offensive line, even though they're making efforts to improve it. I still think they're an under.
I'm gonna say push. I think that they're where they need to be. It's still an improvement, but it's not like a drastic. Oh my God, look at this team come out of nowhere. So I'm gonna go with the push as far as the Cardinals go.
I took the over, but I mean, I think I'm still thinking about 500 for them. I like the group. I thought that they played well last year at times, and Murray's going to take a big step forward, but he can clean up some of the sack issues, and that defense can get better with Isaiah Simmons and whatnot back there. They could be a team that improves pretty quick, and they might get some wins over teams like the Rams. So I got them just over.